Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we have gathered for the debriefing session for the Let's Hack 4.0. I welcome all the faculties and all the students for the same. The agenda for the session is that we will be decoding the problem statements for all the participants to understand them and so that they could work better towards the hackathon. I would request Mr. Krunal Mehta to brief us on the problem statement number 38, which is developing sustainable wireless charging infrastructure for EVs.
Thank you so much. Warm greetings to everyone. I hope I'm audible well. Do let me know otherwise. The problem statement, as you mentioned, the number is PS38, and it involves developing wireless solutions for the charging of electric vehicles. So currently, what is sought for is the charging infra for a four-wheeler, not for a two-wheeler, naturally. And before going any forwards, I understand it's a short time period, so I'll straight jump into it. We are aware about the KAI protocols. That's a QI protocols, which is currently being used for charging cell phones wirelessly. I'm pretty sure many of us are aware. You just have a pad, you place your phone on it, and your phone gets charged. And it so happens that even fast charging is available in such devices as well today, isn't it? So initially it used to be slow charging. However, today it is having a fast charge also possible. Now the interesting part is, if we just observe most vehicles, most four-wheelers, we can safely assume that a majority of the chunk of it, they are lying idle during the night. So a person uses the vehicle at the start of the morning and comes back by evening time. He parks it, then at night it stays as it is, and again in the morning he's going to use it. So that idle period is what we are targeting. So this is not the one which is, for a vehicle which is always on road. Yeah, they'll need a higher energy density. So you park your car in your garage in the night, and by the morning time, it is fully charged without you worrying about, the cable management, nothing doing. So it is the ease of operation which is really targeted over here rather than just the energy efficiency. So I hope the problem part is clear. So you park your car in the night, in the morning it gets charged. So this project is more like a feasibility study to calculate whether it is possible. It's not to be looked upon as a replacement for the current charging infrastructure, rather a complementary one. And I think if this is the case, people will be easily adopting this thing because it's so easy. Further, if we want to make it sustainable as well, so we know solar parks are coming big. So even at places which are relatively far off, like on highways, wherein there is abundance of land available, so you can probably imagine a solar park over there and a charging infrastructure. So cable management goes away entirely. So the students who will be working on this, they are expected to primarily do a feasibility study, which definitely would involve a technological study, like is the technology really feasible? Because we've seen it being proven for smaller battery packs, isn't it? But for a larger battery pack, is this a viable solution or not? And of course, I believe this time is done. If any quick questions are there, I'll be more than willing to answer. And at any other point also, any of the students who want to work on this, they can feel free to approach. I mean, don't bother about whether I'm the mentor or not.
If
Yeah.
anyone has any doubts, you can ask her, sir. You can drop us a message, or you can raise your hand and ask.
Yeah, I guess Om, Team 11. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So do we have to look on a financial viability of it? Like, is it financially viable or something like that?
No. First, I think it's just the technological viability, because it's possible that people may overlook finance because of the convenience which the system offers. And if I'm to say just one more statement, this actually is not going to be a costly affair, because it's a proven technology. It's just basically involving two coils. One is the charging coil, another is the receiver coil, and it is by the electromagnetic induction of the flux that's how the charging is really going to be done. so far as the cost is concerned, no, it is not going to be costly. That is what we can say from experience. But currently, the project doesn't aim at the financial aspect of it. It aims just at the technical aspects of it. But still, if you are curious, it is not going to be that costly a solution. So the problem here is, will it going to work or not? That is the problem which I believe it should be addressed first.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anyone else has any doubts? Okay, sir. I don't think anyone has any doubts. If there are, we can contact.
Certainly, no worries, anytime.
All
Please
right.
take
Thank you
care.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All the best. Yeah.
I would like to call Dr. Tejas Dave to address us on the problem statement number 40, which is the role of state and central government in promotion of electric vehicle market in India.
Okay, madam, the first thing is, please circulate my mobile number because yesterday I received call from a couple of students, and I think two group have taken my topic, for this research, for this event. My request is just drop one message to all students and ask them to contact me and form one group for the on WhatsApp or some other platform. Regarding my topic, it is about central and role of state and central government in promotion of electric vehicle. Now it is very broad topic, and I know my request to students is please jot down this point. Quickly jot down all this point which I am talking about, and later we'll discuss about it. On some other platform or on Zoom. Hello, madam. Students are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Students are there.
Okay. So now the first point is there are two separate entities, state government and central government. When we talk about electric vehicle, it's required huge investment, so some clarity is required, some policy document is required for the role of state government and role of central government. Second thing is about the supply chain, because when you talk about electric vehicle, one entity is auto ancillary industry. And second is manufacturers, automobile manufacturers like Tesla and other company. And in auto ancillary industry plays very important role. Almost 70 to 80% contribution is of auto ancillary industry. So my second suggestion is, don't just focus on finished product, just focus on the entire value delivery network or supply chain. Third part is about if you are in Ahmedabad. One of my friend is working in IIM Ahmedabad, and he told me that many of the faculties and many of the students are doing research on this particular area of renewable energy. So if possible, just go to IIM Ahmedabad library and collect all this information. And you also find you also get policy document, research papers, research report on this topic from this institute, IIM Ahmedabad, as well as opposite to IIM Ahmedabad there is campus of AMA, Ahmedabad Management Association. Third thing is about in Western country, like in case of Europe, many countries have already established very good network of this electric vehicle. So my suggestion is that go just Google it and try to see that what exactly they have done to develop this type of network for this electric vehicle. So these are some basic point, because 5 minutes is very less time to elaborate all these things. So on each topic we need to focus, in each area we need to focus in this research. So there are many subtopics, like when you talk about space, because if infrastructure is required, like charging station is required in Ahmedabad and in my tier 1, tier 2 cities, space is very expensive. So yesterday I discussed this thing with other students, that there are three possibilities. One is participation of government, like government owned companies, who establish the charging station. Second is public-private partnership, land acquisition by government, and then charging station by the private entity. And third thing is privatization of the entire industry. From day one, hand over this entire business to the private company. So many options are available. That's it. That's all from my side. Because it is a very broad topic, so right now within 5 minutes is very difficult for me to elaborate. I have prepare PPT for it, but then I realized that I just have 5 minutes time.
Sir, one student has a doubt.
Yes. Aditya.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Very good afternoon, sir. We chose this topic. So, sir, it's a very broad topic, as you said. So, can we have your contact number so we can discuss it in detail at some other platform?
98255 21776.
98255
21776.
21776. Okay, sir. Okay.
So my
Thank you so much, sir.
my request is that first Google it and try to collect information from different secondary sources. In European countries, many countries have developed very good infrastructure for
Yes,
this
sir.
electric vehicle. So because we need some benchmark, na?
Yes, sir. So
So-
actually, what we have started is we have chosen different states in India, the Hindi heartland, Madhya Pradesh, the Delhi government, the Kerala government, and the Maharashtra government. What all they are working. So we are comparing the interstates, and then we are comparing the whole central policy with the top the countries which have the top sales and where the EV is booming, like Norway, China, America. So we are comparing the central policy to these countries also. So we are we are picking some of the small things which they have done and they have improved their things. So we are also implementing into our central policies, and we are interconnectedly, we are as a interstate, we are comparing state policies thereby.
No, but my suggestion is that first focus on macro and then micro. First, just focus on international market,
Yes,
and
sir.
other
Yes, sir.
countries, and the countries in which they have, they already established this infrastructure for electric vehicle, and then we
Yes,
will
sir.
talk about India.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay? Just
Yeah,
form
thank you
one
so much,
group on WhatsApp, and then we'll start discussing.
Sure, definitely, sir. I'll do so.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, sir.
If anyone else has any doubts. Sir, I don't think anyone else has any doubts
Okay,
for now.
okay. Thank
If
you.
they have, they can contact you, of course.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. I would request Dr. Rohit Srivastav to please address the problem statement number 41, which is impact of phase-wise addition of e-vehicles to the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, fine. So, very good afternoon to all of you. And I hope my team is present here. That is what I'm expecting. Otherwise, it would be all meaningless. I mean, if you can look the problem statement, it is very simple. And though it is very simple, but it is very fundamental because when we are talking about electric vehicle, the very major and important reason why it has been introduced was to minimize the atmospheric pollutants, air pollution. So the problem is basically based on that. Though we all are aware that when electric vehicles are going to come and they are going to replace the the dirty fuel vehicles, we are going to have reduction in the pollution. But quantification of this, how much decrease has occurred, still it is a very challenging task. Though a couple of studies have occurred, but not majorly in India, mostly we are having estimations here and there. If we know actually that how much reduction is occurring, and we are, if we are a little bit specific to the region, it is going to really help us, particularly when it comes to decide and make a policy. For example, somebody is saying, I'm going to introduce 10%, electric vehicles per year. Then my question is it going to be sufficient if you are looking from atmospheric pollution point of view? Then suddenly, we don't have answer to that because we do not have proper quantification. So in case if we know, 10% is not good enough, until unless you go and replace 25 or 30%, then only we are going to see any significant change in the atmospheric pollution. So those kind of studies are very, very rare, and especially a country like India, we need to have them many more, so that we have place specific data and analysis with us. So to begin with in this problem, I propose that we are going to take up metro cities. The objective is why we are taking metro, because mostly data is available on web of these metro cities. If we are going to the district level or the village level, probably data might be a problem at present. But to begin with, we are going to take metro cities. How to begin? First of all, in these metro cities, we need to make a benchmark, that a reference level, that what is the present state of pollutants. Which pollutants? It is already listed in the abstract. For example, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide and all. Those pollutants we need to check. You need to find out the proper references for that. How much it is at present. Then we need to find out individual vehicular emission. For example, if I'm having a car, for example, Maruti Suzuki, how much it is going to emit? Nitrous oxide, for example, carbon monoxide. Similarly, at the large scale, we are going to find out individual vehicular emission. This is the second step. Third step is from the RTO, that how many vehicles are getting added to the system, and how many are getting removed from the system, so that we have a proper statistics. Okay, these are the new vehicles which are coming up. Then we are going to replace them with the electrical vehicles, and then we are going to see that how much what is the project contribute. We can compare these metros to see whether there are similarities. If there are similarities, we can say, this is the generalized study for all the other metro cities. If not, then we can really say that no, one study may not be sufficient. Once we are done with that, we can go ahead and make some policy level decisions. We can propose to the government, okay, with our study, this is how removal or addition of the electric vehicle should be there in the system. And if we want to really see a significant change in the air pollution. And once it is done, we can also look into, with the air pollution, how much it is going to affect the decrease in the global warming, if at all possible. I'm not very sure with this metro data, we will be able to touch to that level, but definitely with some references from abroad, with the comparative study, we will be able to make some comments on that. So with this, if we are able to do this much, I will feel that whatever I proposed, it is almost achieved. So this is all from my side. If anybody is having doubt, I will be happy. Otherwise, I'm available on my mobile anytime. Students may contact you. I'll be there to help you out. Thank you.
Any participants have any doubts? You can come forward and ask.
Okay, I don't think.
It does not look like there are any doubts currently.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. I would request Dr. Nirav Patel to address problem statement number 22, which is applicability of composites in battery enclosures in electric vehicles.
Sure. Shani, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Opportunity, and I wish all the best to all the students who are working for the problem of PS22. So this problem is related to the applicability of composites in battery enclosures. As we know that electrical vehicles majorly operate through batteries, and these batteries are very heavy. So primarily, the weight we can bear through metal, but again the metal will also be very heavy. So the best solution to save the weight is the composites. As we all know that composite materials are basically they are very light and will have a very good strength properties. That's why we'll have a better advantage over here to use the composites for battery enclosures. Along with this, these composites are very better in case of fire, thermal, and electrical type of loads. So if it is subjects to different types of this very difficult conditions, then also they are competent enough to handle such cases. Other than this, the composite materials are anisotropic in the nature. Anisotropy means you can control the properties very easily. So when you refer the composites, they are usually laminated composite materials, which if you control it, control the properties of it, it will definitely increase the performance of any structure. That's why over here the composite, basically the carbon composite can be the solution for making the battery enclosures. If you see the battery enclosures, then the top part and the bottom part basically made from this carbon fibers based composites. So here the primary objective of this project is to make the proper designing using carbon fiber composites, along with it considering the manufacturing aspect, and one can go for simulation as well. So this is a very good opportunity, because primarily the objective of this hackathon is to convert the problems to the startup. So this is a great opportunity for us to make such type of system based on composites that will lead to small startups. Yeah. Still, if you have some questions, you can contact me through my email. Okay, all the very best to all students. Thank you.
Any participants have any doubts to ask to Nirav sir, they may. Sir, I don't think there are currently any doubts. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All the best.
Anil sir will be joining the session in 2 minutes. So the problem statement given by him will be taken up in a few minutes.
Pankaj sir is also joining. So let's just hold on for 2 seconds. Charvi, Pankaj sir is joining.
Pankaj sir, hello, good afternoon. Is he here?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So we will be taking with the problem statement given by you, which is problem statement number 53. After completing the vehicle life, batteries have a significant residual capacity. How can they be reused?
Just, so am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So let's say looking the scenario when we know future belong to the electric vehicles, and then batteries are the energy storage device. Now what we understand is the cost effective things, or how we can reduce the cost of batteries, what we are currently facing the issue, and how we can do the recycling also. So this problem 53 belong to that. Now in that, what we understand, one more thing is in the electric vehicle we require the high capacity storage, but there are, let's say, some application where low capacity can work. So the objective of this problem statement will be, first, try to look different innovative ways how we can do the, let's say, recycling of these batteries so that we can reduce the cost. Second is, at the same time, to enhance this cost effective criteria, wherever the different places, or where are, let's say, different second uses where we can use the used batteries, which will have the low capacity after the electric vehicle. So this will be the two major objective where the student will explore. First, recycling part. Second is how we can, let's say, use batteries to the different low capacity application. Okay. Now talking about the second problem, which is the problem statement 63. Again, this problem is, let's say, design and material selection for cost effective and efficient 3D printed batteries by additive manufacturing. What we understand here is the additive manufacturing has the capabilities to fabricate the complex geometries as well as the customized component. Now looking the energy storage device, mainly the batteries, the lithium ion batteries, recently there has so much research has been done where we can, let's say, fabricate the different electrodes and different electrolytes with the help of the additive manufacturing process, as well as we can fabricate the outer casing with the help of the additive manufacturing process. The additive manufacturing process, here the objective will be first looking for the cost-effective material selection. Then that material will be for the electrode or electrolyte. Then second part will be which process will be suitable, or which process, additive manufacturing process, will be cost effective and efficient to use. And finally, after designing these two things, we can develop that complete process itself. This material selection, this, let's say, the design which will create, and then finally the process which we are selecting, we can do the development. So these will be the objective of this. Research is going on in both the problem statement. You will get the sufficient literature also, and if any student face any issue, or he or she can contact me. I'll, let's say, help in further understanding these different problems, and the time will have the subsequent progress meeting also, so that I can support at the various places. So this is done from my side.
Okay. Any students have any doubt? They can ask sir regarding the two problem statements that he mentioned. One is problem statement number problem statement number 53, and the other is problem statement number 63. Sir, I don't think there are any doubts.
Yeah, no
now.
issue, Charlie. I think they can contact later stage. Let's say email ID is all will be there. I'll be happy to help.
Yes, sir, sure. All right.
May I leave now?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Okay, okay, welcome.
I would request Dr. Anil Markana to address problem statement number 57, which is reducing the charging time of batteries used in electric vehicles.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I hope my team members, team number 61, I think T61, with reference to problem statement 57. My team leader is Akash Oja. So is Akash is online here?
Yes, sir, I'm there. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm there.
Yeah. So just to inform the team IIC that we have already conducted, I have conducted 2 meetings with my group, and yesterday and the day before yesterday. And fortunately, this statement of reducing the charging time of the batteries used in the electrical vehicles, that statement was proposed by me, and these students from mechanical engineering, they have chosen me as a mentor. So the problem statement as well as the mentor, both are actually the common. Okay, number one. Number two, yeah. So to the team, if I want to elaborate the problem statement, there are 3 aspects of this. Our aim is to have the refueling of these electrical vehicles. The time to do that should be less, because if this is more, then this would be a hindrance to propagate the electrical vehicles across the globe. So right now, the conventional fuel takes about a couple of minutes to refuel the vehicles, but in case of the electrical vehicles, the charging time would be in terms of minutes or in terms of hours. So how we can reduce this charging or refueling of this time? I wish that the students in the group, they should focus on three aspects, any one of these aspects. Number one is, can we think of changing the lithium ion batteries? Number one. Number two, can we change the infrastructure of the charging stations? Can we do a different way of charging the electric batteries? Okay, is there another way? So let us think in this direction as well. Okay, see, conventionally there is a plug and play type, and it may take some more time, but can we have another source of charging the batteries, like let's say any kind of electromagnetic principles or any other things? Yeah, so I don't have any constraints if the charging time is less. If the charging time is less, then we need to see the feasibility issues also. That would be a later stage. But let us, I hope that some conclusions, some solutions of reducing the charging of the electrical vehicles should come out from the team. Akash, anything else you want to tell me?
No, sir. As you told that we have already done 2 meetings with you, so we are now well aware about the problem statements and how we have to proceed.
Does your team aware about this?
Yes, sir. They all are there in the meeting right now. Also, they all are there right now in the meeting.
Okay. Can you debrief? Can you brief that what we have discussed in yesterday's meeting, and what are our first week plan?
So, sir, in our first week, we divided that into the 2 rounds, round 1 and round 2. And in round 1, we focused on becoming more aware about the problem statement and getting more research about the different components of the problem statement, like knowing the design of electric vehicle, what is the working of lithium-ion battery, what are the opportunities for us, where there is a hindrance in fast charging, why fast charging is a problem nowadays. So in our first weeks, we actually become aware by getting more information what is going on in the world nowadays regarding fast charging and charging of EVs, where is exactly the problem. And we come up with a single line of thinking and a concept where how we can, in which direction we can move forward ahead throughout this hackathon.
Fine. So there are 3 solutions: changing the battery. Number 2, changing the materials. The electrical circuit for charging the batteries. Number 3, can we change the infrastructure itself of charging?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So anything, if any of the solutions in line with this, it is acceptable to me.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay. Pawan, is there anything else?
No, sir. If any other students have any doubts, they can ask to sir.
Yeah. Any other doubt from the team?
Sir, I think no, we all have well understood the problem statement.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Sir.
Yeah, Charvi, you continue, please then.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm leaving now. Take care. Bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
I would request Dr. Vivek Patel to address the problem statement number 13, which is cost minimization of battery thermal management system, as well as problem statement number 44, optimization of charging station line, charging station location to minimize the queue.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
So
good afternoon.
First, I focus on the problem statement number 13, that is cost minimization of battery thermal management system. So as I explicitly mentioned in the problem definition, okay, the actually cooling is required for battery thermal management. Okay, generally air and liquid cooling is the air and liquid cooling is commercially available for the thermal management. Okay, and one more aspect, okay, when you consider the battery thermal management system or simply battery pack, then cost is also important factor. Okay, cost is one of the important factor for the implementation, whether it is active or passive cooling. Okay, and the cost is indirectly associated with the weight, because if the weight of battery pack is increased, or we can say volume is increased, it directly affect the average, or we can say cost. So the reduction in weight, or we can say volume of the battery pack, is one of the important consideration for the cost reduction, and we can carry out that particular thing by effective cooling. Okay, so removal of auxiliary component we can carry it out if we provide effective cooling. So removal of auxiliary component in active cooling system Okay, by providing the effective cooling leads towards the reduction in weight, or we can say volume. Okay, and there are many such things with the help of which we can provide the better cooling. Just a simple example, okay, along with the liquid cooling, whatever the presently implemented, if we use the nanoparticle along with this liquid cooling, then it enhances the cooling capability. And in that way, it can work towards the reduction of battery module, which further reduce the weight of that battery pack. So this is one of the things which I explain over here for the better understanding of problem statement. So in this problem, the student have to come up with this type of alternate solution, or we can say alternate analysis. The analysis may be numerical, maybe experimental, any sort of analysis is acceptable, which leads towards the reduction in weight, or we can say volume. Okay. So this is first thing related to this is the things related to problem statement 13. I hope I clear to all of you. If any question is there related to that problem statement 30, you can ask. Then after I switch to the next problem.
Anyone has any doubts for the problem statement number 30 can go ahead and ask, sir.
Okay, so I hope the student are able to understand the problem statement 13 properly. So I move towards the next problem. That is focused on the that is one sort of what we can say the scheduling problem, or we can say queuing problem. That is optimization of charging station line or charging station location to minimize the queue. So it is a one sort of queuing problem. The student who studied the subject that operation research or optimization technique can come to know about that queuing problem. Okay, where the the aim is to minimize the queue, or aim is to shorten the queue. So this problem is more focused on that. Okay, we have to apply a proper optimization technique to decide the location of charging station, so why the queue is minimum. Okay, so here in this problem, what I expect the innovative charging station line arrangement. Okay, or we means the student have come up with the designing of different location, considering in means it is one sort of feasibility study. You consider any location, even you consider only one location of Gujarat, or say for example Ahmedabad, and then you have to analyze or carry out the feasibility study. Okay, where should be the charging station we have to propose, so why the line or the charging line should be minimum. So the innovative charging station line arrangement or design should be required to minimize the queue at any charging station. Similarly, the location of charging stations should be the design in such a way so it help in minimize the queue at any charging station. So as I tell you, this is one sort of feasibility study problem. A student can consider any location. Okay, preferably consider the cities like Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat, and then analyze what should be the probable location, so why we can minimize the charging station line. Okay, so in this problem, students have come up with the innovative and feasible arrangement or design by conducting the feasibility study of charging station line and charging station location for any of the region. So I hope I properly convey this problem statement 44. So student can ask related to this statement also if they have any doubt.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So basically, as we are clear with the concept, do we have to involve the technical parameters also in this, or it will be only for the?
No, technical parameter is always required. Technical parameter means you ask which type of technical parameters.
Regarding the type of charging stations, because since we have just referred some kind of things, there are several 2 to 3 types of charging stations.
So you have to consider the type of charging station. See, feasibility study include every parameter which affect the location or we can say arrangement of charging station or a line at the charging station. So you have to consider while you carried out the feasibility study, you have to consider that type of charging station.
Okay, sir. So we will consider type of charging stations, type of charging unit like car.
Yes, exactly.
And the places which we will be more feasible for getting lesser queues.
Yes, it means basically, as I mentioned, say for example, if you consider the Ahmedabad region, so now you first you have to understand the movement of people within the Ahmedabad region, because based on that movement you are come to know, okay, where it is beneficial to locate more number of charging stations. So why the queue is minimum? What should be the optimum distance between two charging stations? Okay, they think you can get an idea if you know the people movement for any particular region, and the aim of this particular problem statement is lies on that fact only. You have to carry out feasibility study for location of charging station, so why the charging line is minimum, that is some sort of queuing problem, by considering one location only. Okay, I didn't emphasize that you consider for entire Gujarat, you consider only one location, any big city of Gujarat, say for example Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat. Okay, because if you start to solve such a problem at a micro level, then after you can apply this particular thing at a macro level. That's what I think about this problem. I hope you are able to understand, Darshan.
Yes, sir. We will be even more clear about this topic than before, and we will get touch with you after reviewing more data. And if we have queries, then we will have a discussion with you.
Sure. You are most welcome to talk with me at any time related to this problem. And I also suggest you, okay, if you interested in this problem, then also refer some queuing theory. Okay, if you just referred about queuing theory, you can get a more idea about this type of problem.
Yes, sir. We will just have some fundamental clears, and then we will get touch in with you soon.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
Sir, I do not think anyone else has any doubts. If they do, you can come and ask sir right now.
Okay, thank you. Says,
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Um,
Charvi. I may leave now.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for all the faculties and students for joining for the debriefing session. Thank you all.
Thank you.